Well, good morning. It's Crazy Cheap Chick. I just got back from the grocery store, and I've had to face some really hard facts today. I think in order to keep my bill down, I am going to have to start going to more than one grocery store a week. And that makes me angry and sad and frustrated. But in order to keep that bill down to 50, 60 bucks a person a week, because it's just me and John Wayne, I usually spend between $100 and $125. But if I'm going to keep it at that, I'm probably going to have to look at multiple stores for clearance items and loss leaders. I usually look for clearance items and plan my meals around that. And that's worked well for me for a while, but I haven't been finding as much. So come on, let me show you what I got, what we're going to eat this week. And at the end, I'm going to tell you a story to either delight you, terrify you, or think, man, she's an idiot. I think that's probably what you're going to think after I tell you this story. Yep. They always have a... They're really racking up the price on everything, aren't they? This is marked down to $3.49, but it's only the small onions. I don't need any chicken, really. $7.99. I guess this is an okay deal then. This is what I bought at Aldi's for $17.71. I was by there and I thought I'll just run in, I'll grab something for my lunch because John Wayne has gone on a business lunch today instead of going through a drive-through. And I swear I spent more for my lunch than I would have going through a drive-through, but it probably wouldn't have been very healthy. I got this grilled cheese tomato soup and it was $4.99. There's two in here though. And you know, they pull you in with a really great sounding name. We'll see how it tastes. And then I went ahead and got a Caesar chopped salad kit to go with it, which was $2.99. But really what I went in is I was out of spinach, so I got that for $1.49. I wanted to get some grapes, and they were so expensive at Dillons that I thought I'll get those at Aldi's because I'm going to be right by there. So this bag of grapes was $2.47. Some pepperoni for $2.49, some garlic, which I'm out of, for $2.29, and some steak seasoning. The majority of my groceries I got at Dillon's. Of course, they don't sell the yogurt I like at Aldi's, and I got 3 of them. 2 of them rang up for $2.19, and 1 rang up for $1.19, so I obviously had a coupon loaded. This was their best deal, in my opinion. Land O'Lakes butter for $2.99. You could buy up to 5, so I did, because butter will last a really, really long time. In fact, the best buy date is 6/4/24, so 3 months to use it. Got my tea for $2.99. This Andalese smoked sausage for $3.99, and this cabbage, whole cabbage, for $1.33. Now, I love Aldi's. I'm not talking smack on Aldi's, but butter was more expensive at Aldi's. So was cabbage, and they don't sell either of these items at Aldi's. This is really the only bread I like. $2.99 on sale, $2.99 for the buns. So I did buy them since they were on sale. These tater tots were on sale for $2.99. Cheese, I think it was like 2 for $7, and I must have had a coupon. So this baby Swiss was $2.50, and the Colby Jack was $3.50. Spaghetti sauce was on sale for $1.79. Remember, kids, when you used to get this on sale for like $1, and then it was like $1.25, and then it was $1.50. I found 4 packages of walnuts for $3.60. These are normally $7.99 at Dillon's. And I checked at Aldi's, and they're more expensive than this at Aldi's. Then they had some clearance ham for $2.42. I got 2 packages. And some oven roasted chicken breast for $2.75. The ham was $2.42. And this unsweetened coconut for $1.94. Some olives for $2.03. This was a good deal. Now, if I had a big freezer, I would have bought all they had, because this is ground beef with onions crumbles, and it was $3.49. So a whole pound, that's cheaper than what I can normally get it. I got 2 packages, and then I got 2 packages of this turkey breast with gravy for $3.57. They had my pomegranates on clearance for $3.76. These used to be $2.99 on clearance. Now they're all the way up to $3.76. Ridiculous. Some sugar snap peas. I love to eat these raw. $2.70. This Stonefire pizza crust. It was $2.19, but it had a coupon on it. So I just peeled off the coupon and used it. So it was $1.19. Always look for those peelable coupons. And then a whole big bag of tomatoes for 99 cents, 5 oranges for 99 cents, and 6 avocados for 99 cents. But I think a couple of those avocados aren't good, and probably 4 of them are okay. So that's what I got for my, $118.67. That's about normal for me. Now let's talk about what we're gonna eat. You know, if you watch my videos, I'm so boring. I always have yogurt for breakfast. That's what I like. Yogurt with a few walnuts on it and some coconut. I have tons of blueberries left over from last week when they were on sale for 99 cents. And this is enough walnuts to get me by for a couple of months. I won't have to buy those again. Lunch is always salads or leftovers. Sometimes I'll make a soup. Then, since cabbage was on sale so cheap, I went ahead and got a cabbage for $1.33, and I will stir fry it with this sausage. It's one of John Wayne's favorite meals, not mine, but it's okay. But he really likes it because his mother was Hungarian, and she made a lot of Eastern European dishes, and you can spice it up and make it taste pretty good. And since my bread was on sale, I can have some avocado toast, but that's not what I bought it for. I thought we'd have some fancy grilled cheese sandwiches with Swiss and ham. And then with these buns, I've got a lot of hamburger in the freezer I need to use, so we'll probably have hamburgers with cheese and tomato and maybe some spinach on it. But then I'm also probably going to make a chicken breast sandwich with sliced cheese and some tater tots. And this big bag of tater tots, I'll have half one meal and half the next meal because it's just the 2 of us. I've got a lot of potatoes I need to use because I found 2 bags on clearance last week, plus a friend who was going out of town for about 10 days brought me a bag of potatoes and onions she didn't think she could use. So we'll probably have some turkey breast with gravy, and I'll make some potatoes of some kind to go with it. And I also have some stuffing that I got on clearance all the way back at Thanksgiving, which is perfectly good. Then with this ground beef and crumbles, we could have spaghetti, or we could have, anything you use ground beef with, like tacos. Got everything for tacos. But what I think I'll probably use it for is pizza. Because with this pizza crust, I went ahead and got that pepperoni. We've got sauce. I've got plenty of cheese. Got olives. We could make a pretty good pizza with that. So that's 6 or 7 meals right there. So I think we're going to be doing pretty good this coming week. And then we've got oranges for snacks, and I've got an extra one of these to throw in the freezer, an extra one of these to throw in the freezer. I love these to snack on. And so, once again, $118 for 2 people, and that's about normal for me. What do you spend per person? Now, kids can either cost hardly anything because they're little and they don't eat much, or you've got a teenager and they eat, the same amount as 2 grown-ups. And so, it's kind of hard to figure per person sometimes. So I opened up this grilled cheese tomato soup. Look how good they make it look on the carton. There's how it comes. Brother. It says to microwave for 3 minutes. Let's try it out. There's my $8 Aldi's lunch. Of course, I didn't eat all the salad or both of the soups, and I'm going to have some green tea. Hopefully it's semi-healthy. I always just shoot for 90% healthy. All right, I doctored up that soup just a little bit by putting croutons and a little bit more cheese on it. Let's try it. Tastes like tomato soup. It's actually pretty good. I'm not sure I would buy it again, just because it's high. I mean, $5 for 2 servings of soup, but it tastes pretty good to me today. Got some big old thunderheads east of us. Look at those thunderheads. That's pretty awesome looking, isn't it? I love living in the country. Well, guys, thanks for sticking around all the way to the end. I really appreciate it. I never thought I could get 900 subscribers, and I'm kind of amazed by that, so thank you. My personal opinion is food prices are going to continue to go up. I don't think they're going to go back down. In fact, I think they'll increase. If it's hot, they're predicting a very hot summer. It's harder to grow food. And if it's a drought, you can't grow food in a drought. And I'm going to plant a garden, but I don't know how much I'll get out of it. We'll just see how things go. Now, this week, we had tornadoes all around us here in the Midwest. And there was a tornado less than probably 40 miles from me on the ground, and we were watching on TV. You know, whenever there's a tornado, it's like nonstop coverage of tornado. And so we were watching the TV as they showed its path and where it was going, and the sirens were going off. Even though it was a long ways from us, in our county, they sound the sirens at the beginning. No matter where it's at in the county, you might be a long ways from it, but the sirens are going off. And it alerted us to turn on the television and see what was going on. And then we're like, oh, there's tornadoes. And so this tornado, it looked like it was fairly large, and I don't know how long it stayed on the ground, but I don't think it hit any towns. It was just kind of an isolated tornado out in the country, which in Kansas, you know, we're the 15th largest state with less than 3 million people. So usually tornadoes just tear up a cornfield or take down a barn. But, you know, if it hits a city like it did in, what year was it, 66? They had an F5 here in Topeka, huge tornado. It's devastating. I'm going to tell, because of these tornadoes this week, I'm going to tell you one of my tornado stories, because since I live in Kansas, I have multiple tornado stories. Now, this story happened the same week of the Joplin tornado. And we were actually supposed to be in Joplin that weekend, but John Wayne was sick and we didn't go. And this is kind of a longer story, but I'm just going to shorten it down to the tornado part. Anyway, in fact, if we had been in Joplin, our hotel was destroyed in that tornado, so we would have been right in it. But anyway, we were home that weekend, and those tornadoes down there, that tornado, that F5 tornado, it spawned, you know, there were a lot of tornadoes that weekend, and there were tornadoes here. And so we're home, and the sirens start going off, and John Wayne starts gathering up our cats and the dog, and he's headed to the basement. And I was headed to the basement, but I happened to look out the front door as we were going to the basement, and I saw probably 5 or 6 of our neighbors standing in the middle of the street, and they see me, and they're like, "Crazy Cheap Chick, come here and see this. It's so weird. Come here." And I'm like an idiot, go out there, and we're standing in the middle of the street, and they're like, "Look up." And I look up, and there's all these clouds, and they're just swirling in a really tight circle. It was really strange. Like, wow, what is that? And then by this point, John Wayne notices that I am not beside him in the basement, and he comes looking for me. He comes out there, and he's like, "Why aren't you in the basement?" And I'm like, "Look at this. This is crazy." Well, as it moved down the street, got, you know, a block or two away, you could see the funnel cloud forming. So it hadn't reached the ground, but it was forming the funnel. And it was crazy, to see that. And I had really good footage of it, but I can't seem to find it at the moment. If I ever find it, I'll post it, because it was so strange to actually literally be standing beneath a tornado. How many people actually do that? Of course, at the time, I didn't realize it was a tornado. It just looked like a really weird swirling cloud formation. And John Wayne immediately knew what it was, but by then it had gone down the street, and he's like, "What are you doing? Get in the basement." And but then as we saw it move away, he's like, "Get in the truck, let's follow it." So we did. We followed that tornado, and it went across the lake and on up, and it kept going up and down, kind of skipping along. It was a very small tornado. It wasn't large at all, and didn't do much damage. And this week when we had the tornadoes, of course, as we're sitting in the living room in our recliners watching the nonstop tornado coverage, all John Wayne is like, my trucks, because all of his employees take their trucks home with them. And I think a couple of his trucks did get hail damage. So we're gonna have to look at them on Monday and see if it needs to be turned into insurance or not. But that's one of my tornado stories, is standing underneath the tornado as it passed by, and John Wayne being very irritated that I had not come to the basement with him and the cats and dog. And but I survived, but I could easily have gone the other way. I could have just touched down right there, because it wasn't very far before it did touch down. But I have literally looked up into a tornado and survived to tell the tale. And what's weird about that was it was super still. It wasn't raining, it wasn't windy, there wasn't thunder, there wasn't lightning. It was just super still, not a thing moving as we're looking up at that. And it was an amazing thing to see. So anyway, that's my story. And stick around. If you want to hear more stories, subscribe. That's how you get to see the grocery hauls, hear what I'm doing to save money on groceries. I'm sure you want to know what me and John Wayne are going to eat every week. And other tips on how I save money and what we're doing here around our 5-acre homestead. We've had some interesting things happen here lately, and I need to make a video catching you up on the homestead business here. But in the winter, there's just not a lot to show you. But I will post a video soon of some interesting wildlife and different things that we've seen around here the last couple of months. But you have to subscribe to get to see that. So if you're interested, please subscribe. I look forward to your comments and getting to know you a little better. I'll talk to you soon.